From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks. This podcast is presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Women of Burbank. My name is Ashley Erikson, and today I have Amber Knipple, who is a Burbank native, a hair braider at Cielo Salon, and she recently represented Burbank in the Miss California 2024 pageant. And you're here today to talk about your amazing experience that you just had.
Yes, I am, and I am so excited. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And you've grown up in Burbank. Burbank has been your home. You went to elementary, middle school, high school here, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So tell me, were you born in Burbank? Were your parents born in Burbank? What's a little bit of your background?
So my parents were born in Hawaii. I thought my dad was born in Virginia. So for a long time, I was like, yeah, he's born in Virginia, and he was so upset. But so my parents were born in Hawaii. They moved out here, and then they reconnected on their high school reunion.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, it was.
That's really
nice
cute
for photos and stories. And I've lived out here my whole life. I went to Edison and the Luther and Burroughs. I played sports at Burroughs. I was on the volleyball team, and then I also danced hula for about 10 years. And that was also in Burbank. And then I moved to New York for a year and a half to pursue modeling, but I just realized I really enjoyed doing hair.
Okay.
So I moved back out here, and I work at Cielo, across the street from a giant blue and yellow car wash. And it's
That's
great.
what you get to stare at every day?
Yeah. Luckily, there's trees and windows, so I'm like, oh, so nice.
But you have a nice little salon. It's in Magnolia Park. And how long have you been working there?
I've been there for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
For 2 years, I was a receptionist there. And then I was able to just build up my clientele until I was able to rent a chair.
Yeah. Did you teach yourself how to braid or something you were taught?
Yeah, I did teach myself how to braid. I used to braid plants.
Can you do that? Is that a
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, actually you can. And I think you can crochet plants too. But when I would be at Hawaiian festivals and my mom would dance, there was these leaves that would come down. And so I just started braiding them because I was so
Yeah.
bored. But yeah, and then one day I saw my mom braid her hair, and I gave it a shot, and it worked out.
Wow.
And then I practiced on my friend, and his aunt saw, and then she offered me $20 to braid her hair, and I did. And then she invited me to her baby shower where I did her hair and her daughter's hair.
Oh,
And then the next day I had 7 clients.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that braid hair professionally, right? And you do such crazy designs, and you add extensions in and things
Mhm.
like that. And
Yeah.
you have to be a perfectionist, I think. I mean, you can't just mess up and be like, it's fine, and keep going.
No.
You have to make it perfect.
Right.
And you have to be patient, because you were saying your hair alone just took 6 hours.
Yes, it did. Fix the hair.
What is the longest amount you've had a client sitting for?
I had my sister sitting for about 36 hours. Yeah. Granted, we did take breaks, to
I
sleep.
hope so.
Yeah, and we did faux locks, so that's when I braided her hair, and then I wrapped her hair with more hair, and of course she wanted her hair down to her knees.
Wow.
I know. And did she pay me? No, she didn't. But I
That's
got
what
good
sisters are
photos.
for.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so you've been this hair braider, you've been living in Burbank, you've done hula dancing, but when did you decide you wanted to enter this pageant world?
I decided I wanted to enter last December.
Mm-hmm.
My coworker has been on me for about 4 years to join, and so last year, I felt like I was in a space where I could properly express myself and not be a people pleaser in the pageant, and just really hold to my own standards and morals.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to go out there and be who I am, not who someone else was telling me to be.
So you've never done any of them before? This was your
No.
first one. It's really exciting.
It was hard. It was hard. It was hard. It was
Well, we're going to
stressful,
learn
but
all
yeah.
about it and why it is hard and everything that goes into it. But first I want to talk about, because you see there's Miss America, there's Miss USA, there's Miss Universe. And so until I met you, I didn't really know what that was either. And so you were in the Miss USA pageant.
Yes.
So it's Miss California that goes to Miss USA, which then goes to the Miss Universe competition, which is the largest one.
Yes.
Right? But then you also have Miss California, a different pageant that goes to Miss America,
Mhm.
right? And so you were in the Miss USA one.
Yes, I believe the Miss America is when it's more so like scholarships,
Okay.
along those lines, but they don't branch off into the
The
universe.
universe. That's
Yeah.
pretty big. So, when you were signing up for your pageant, you have your sash on right now, Miss Burbank, right?
Mhm.
You get to pick a title, right? So you can put in, it could be a city, a county, a business. And obviously you chose Burbank because this is where you live and this is what you love.
Yes.
But in case Burbank was taken, what do you do? Are there other options? Like, did you have backup plans?
My boss said that I should put Burbank for all three, but I didn't want to seem too aggressive. So I put Burbank, Toluca Lake, and Cielo because I work there.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had a really good support team from that space, but I was able to get Burbank, and I actually reached out to like the coordinators of the program, and they said it wasn't taken yet. So I was like, let me jump on this.
Yeah, that's amazing. I
Yeah.
think you mentioned there hasn't been somebody representing Miss Burbank in a pageant for a few years,
Mhm.
right? In the Miss USA one.
Yes. Yeah. The last person I saw was about 3 years ago.
Hmm.
And I think it may be because of COVID.
Yeah, that
I'm
makes
not
sense.
too sure, but I believe that's the reason.
So you got your sash, and you actually had a ceremony with our mayor, Nick Schultz. So what was
Yeah.
that like? Was that your first time meeting
That was
Mayor
my
Schultz?
first time
Okay.
meeting him. I was so nervous and I was running a little bit behind, and I like to be like 15 minutes early to everything. So,
It was like pouring rain that day too,
it
right? Like
yes.
really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible, and my friend walked me to his car, and then he's probably like 5 feet tall, and I was wearing these heels. I was pushing 6'1", and he's just standing there with his umbrella, and he's like, "You could do it." And then I walked in, and it was cool, but my mom's kind of conservative, so
Mhm.
she was like, "Look at those heels. Your skirt is so short." And I was just like, "Am I
Aw.
coming across as,
You had a really cute outfit on. It was like
Thanks.
a blazer skirt set, right?
Yeah, it was
very
giving
cute.
Clueless.
Very much so. It was like yellow, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great though. Luckily the mayor was running behind too, so I was like, "Okay, cool." But when I met him, he was really friendly, he was funny, his whole team was really encouraging also, and
Mhm.
then he gave me a commemorative coin to the city,
That's
so that was
exciting.
nice. He said if I won Miss California, we could have a parade, but, you know, maybe next year.
Oh, man. That's something that we can look forward to.
Yeah.
We need our parade back. We talk about that all the time. Ross would be happy to hear that. So what do you think you signed up, you've got this pageant coming. What life experiences do you feel like is really setting you up to take on this pageant when you signed up?
I think every life experience, it's all a learning lesson, but I was in sports and then I was in a competitive dance team. So I feel like I know what teamwork is as well as leadership and being able to follow the rules as well. Also, I modeled in New York and California, so that was super helpful.
Mhm.
Um, and the family I was born into, you you don't get to choose your family, but it's like they helped build my character. And I
Yeah.
feel like that was a really big thing. You need to have strong character in
Yeah.
the pageant.
You have to have a lot of confidence in yourself and I mean in everything, not just in your looks, but just the way you carry yourself and the things that
Mhm.
you're going to say on stage. That's like it's a lot of pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when I first thought about going into the pageant, I was like, "Oh, this is a beauty pageant. Don't worry, I'm about to win this. Like, step aside, just give me the crown." But but I saw like, watching more pageants, it's about what you're doing for the community,
Mhm.
how you're helping others out. It's about who you are on the inside.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's something good or you're not going to get very far.
Yeah. So do you think that you learned a lot in this experience? Like just like from when you first walked in to like signing up and getting your sash to like leaving that pageant today, has that changed you?
Completely. Yeah. Yes. It was everything. I'm constantly learning new things, how to speak to people,
Mhm.
the way I'm showing up in an event or a
Yeah.
hotel grand opening.
Yeah, I want to
thank
talk
you.
about that
Yeah.
because as soon as you got your sash, you were like out there. You were attending like the chamber events and
Mhm.
fundraisers, making your own fundraisers. And you done that before? Like showed up to these kinds of events before?
No,
So
I've
this was
never.
very new to you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And what was that
Yeah.
like?
I loved it. I loved it. I prefer to go to events as opposed to like bars and
Mhm.
parties. I feel like it's just you're meeting more people in an authentic manner,
Yeah.
and it was great. I loved it. I went to the Cambria
Yeah.
hotel opening that you invited me to, so
Mhm.
thank you for that. And there was a little girl there, and she was asking to take a photo with me,
Aw.
and it just was really encouraging and uplifting. And she was like, "Can I do this too?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh, that's
So
very
yeah, it
sweet.
was really cute, and it made me feel good.
Yeah. Do you think you're gonna continue doing that, like, through the rest of the year? Even though the pageant's over, do you wanna still, like, attend events and things
Oh
like that?
yeah, I
Oh,
would
good.
love to. I would
Yeah.
love to. But I do need to buy new soles for my shoes because I have to wear heels like everywhere, and
Oh my
it's just
gosh.
like, ugh.
And you're already so tall. How
Yes,
tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, so with heels, you're really pushing 6 foot, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes I would go places and the guys would be like, "I'm 6'2" and we're eye level, and I was like, "Are you 6'2"? Are
So I'm looking
you?"
down.
Yeah.
That's funny. And you had your own fundraiser at Tequila's Burbank, who are, I mean, Patricia's an amazing woman, and she always loves supporting the community. And she opened up her patio to you, and you had a great fundraiser with
Yeah.
family and friends, and you taught luau there. You taught people
Oh
how to
yeah, I
dance. You taught
did.
hula dancing.
Mhm.
When did you get into that? Like, when was that?
Hula dancing?
Yeah.
I believe I was probably 6 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And it was over here on like Victory in Alameda.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's Hula Halal Kamuela, and we are a competitive dance hula dancing team. And he was very strict. Your hair had to be the same, your outfit had to be the
Mm.
same. Everything needed to be in sync. If you weren't meeting his criteria, you had to stand in the corner for the rest of the hour with your arms out, and it was
Wow.
intense, but, like, it was really good, and I actually found out I had a lot of family
Mhm.
from there, from my dad's side, and they just all happened to be within the same halau, so that was really
That's
cool.
amazing. Did you
Yeah.
start it to just, like, be more in touch with your culture and things like that, or was this something you've always just wanted to do?
I didn't wanna do it. I did not wanna do it. No, my mom made me,
Oh, yeah.
and, when you're, like, 6 years
Yeah.
old, what yeah,
But
like
you're glad now, I'm sure, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Like, who
definitely.
I mean, that's a talent a lot of people don't have. I
Mhm.
mean, it's very rare.
Yes, I wanted to later on in life, I wanted to join, like, a hip hop team because it's always been a dream of mine to call someone out on the dance floor and, like,
Do, like, a
battle.
battle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have been out, and people have called me out, and I just have to, like, give it to them because I can't dance battle you, hula. Like, it's just not gonna work.
So you do hip hop dance too?
No.
Oh, you just okay.
Maybe in the future. Sometimes on YouTube, I'll go on YouTube and I'll
Yeah.
practice in my room.
That's amazing. I love those TikTok dances where you have to, like, try to, like, learn them and
Yeah.
figure them out. I'm obviously not a dancer, you can tell by that. So you just came back from your pageant. It was last month, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
you went in June. What was that experience? How long were you there? What was, like, meeting the girls for the first time like? Tell me all about it.
Okay, well, everything was really great until it wasn't. I
Dun,
know.
dun, dun. What
Right.
happened?
Zoom in on face. So what happened was I had a gown being made for 2 months, and it was fit to my body, and the day before I was to be presented, it ripped, like, the entire back ripped.
No.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the sleeves, and there's holes in the sleeves, and it was just, like, falling apart,
Mhm.
and it really just threw me off completely.
You didn't get the dress till you got there?
I got the dress on Thursday,
Okay.
and I was supposed to receive it before then, but I got it on Thursday. I was leaving Friday morning
Oh
at
my lord.
5 AM, and I got it on Thursday at 9 PM, and, it was pretty horrible, and it was super stressful, and then I'm over here crying my eyes out,
Yeah.
and the guy who made the dress came, and it was very narcissistic tendencies, so he said he could fix the dress, and so we left in the morning. We had about 2 hours of sleep.
Wow.
So when I got there, I had a horrible migraine, and I have visual migraines, so it's like I just can't see.
Yeah.
And, Miss Brentwood, she was so kind, and she actually started massaging my neck.
Oh,
And then the house moms got me some Excedrin, and that woke me back up, and it was good, you know.
oh, Miss
But
Brentwood. Holler out
yeah,
there.
yeah, she's really awesome.
Did you room with other girls or were you by yourself?
I got my own room.
Okay.
I roomed with my mom.
Okay.
If you did room with another contestant, then the hotel was free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like really weird about my space. And,
Yeah.
You know,
Especially getting ready for such a big day, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So, okay, back to the dress.
Yeah. So
happened?
that dress was horrible, and it was horrible.
Did
So
you wear it at
no,
the
I didn't wear it, and
Oh.
I spent a decent amount to have it made. So I didn't end up wearing it, and then Friday, I'm just on my phone the whole time because my friends went to go look for a gown for me,
Yeah.
and they found something. Thank goodness.
I saw the photos. It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
The fact that you got it that day is incredible.
Yes, my friend, she was like, "What size are you?" I'm like, "I'm size 6." She's like, "We're buying a size 4. You're gonna be snatched." And I was like, "Okay, let's do this." And they came that night. I tried it on at like 6.
Mhm.
And then my boss actually drove to Orange County where the pageant was with the gown that was
Wow.
torn. And I tried that on, and it was like nothing was fixed.
Yeah.
And actually, even if I wanted to wear that gown, the zipper was broken.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So it's like, come on, sir.
Well, everything happened for a reason because you
Yeah.
looked absolutely stunning, and
Thanks.
I'll have a photo up so that when we're talking about this dress, we can see what you looked like in it. It was
Okay.
purple, right?
Yeah, it was.
Like a light purple.
Yeah, and it even had gloves.
Yes, I saw that. It was
Yeah, it was
really, really
cute.
pretty. Your friends did a great job.
Thanks.
So, okay, so other than that, you got your headache out of the way, you've got your dress out of the way,
Mhm.
and now how many girls were there?
There were, I believe, around 84 misses and I believe like 45 teens.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you have to practice being on stage? I feel like, I mean, everything looks so polished, and you just get there Friday, right? And
Yeah.
the contest is Saturday?
No, actually, yes, the contest is Saturday and on Sunday.
Okay.
So we got there. Friday was rehearsals in like the rehearsal room that we had,
Mhm.
and then on Saturday they took us on stage, and that's when we tried it out. And the stage was actually super slippery.
Oh gosh, that's so
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah, it was so scary because I'm in like 6-inch heels,
Yeah.
But there's one girl who fell, and we were all really surprised because her walk was amazing.
Oh.
And she owned a actually she was the first runner up.
Really?
Yeah, she made it really far, and
Even
congratulations.
after falling? That's
Yes.
pretty incredible.
And she
You get
fell
back up. Always get back up.
yes, she fell the day of the preliminaries.
Wow.
Which really counts for a lot.
Yeah.
And she got back up and she walked and she made it so far. So I'm really glad for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of character to get up and put your face back on and just say, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So did you make any other relationships other than Miss Brentwood?
No.
Just Miss
I feel like Miss Brentwood and I were just right when we got together, it was like we were supposed to be together.
Yeah.
She's actually the most mature woman to ever run for Miss California.
Oh.
She's 75.
Called what?
Yes. So they lifted the ban, which I don't want to say ban, but the rules, which you couldn't be over 28, you couldn't have a child, I believe, and you couldn't be married.
I thought that was true. Yeah.
But
took
they
that
lifted
away?
it like this year
Oh,
or last year, I
wow.
believe, because she signed up. No, this year. Yeah, so she signed up, and it was great having her and hanging out with her. I connected with some of the other girls that I was around. We are all there alphabetically,
hmm
but her and I still text to this day.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
And was this her first pageant too?
Yes,
Something
it
she just always
was.
wanted to do?
I think she was telling me that she just felt like her life wasn't going anywhere, and she
Mhm.
felt old, and she wanted to just branch out.
Yeah.
And she went online and she saw that they had lifted it, and she was like, "Oh, I'll apply next year." And then she realized it was open for this year, so she's like, "I'm gonna do it."
That's incredible.
Yeah, she's an awesome lady.
What a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did a pageant when in 2002, the Miss Teen California pageant. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was USA or if it was America, but it was Miss Teen. It was my first one. I didn't know what I was doing, and I refuse to this day to look back at the photos and the videos, the VHS tapes of myself on that stage. But it was a really fun experience.
Yeah.
Something that I feel like every girl should like have, you know.
Did you feel like you connected with anyone while you were there?
I think I was pretty introverted at that time, and I talked a little bit, but I was so shy. I was like not Miss Congeniality at all. I kept to myself. I was a kid like never raised my hand in class, like never talked. So I think now would be a different story. I probably wouldn't shut up, but fine. But it was fun. I didn't make that many connections, but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a really cool experience.
Yeah, it was cool. I feel like, dressing up, seeing the other girls, and there was one girl who nothing was going right for her, but we didn't know that,
Yeah.
and she expressed it and she was crying, and then you got to see the other girls like lift her up, and that
Yeah.
was really like empowering and
Yeah.
helpful to her because she stayed and she was thinking about leaving.
I'm sure every single girl there and woman there was terrified and nervous and had all of the same feelings. And when you kind of pull down those barriers and realize, like, just because we're acting like we've got our stuff together, we don't.
Right, right.
We're all in this together, you
Yes.
guys. Yeah. So let's talk about the actual competition. There's 3 categories, right?
hmm
So you have your interview. Is that what it's called? Like the
Yeah.
interview? And then you have your swimsuit and you have evening gown. In that order?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about the questions they asked you for the interview.
So my questions really went based on my bio sheet, and they asked about the charity I was working with, and then what I did with that charity, and then what sort of life experience I've had that shifted the way I viewed life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worked with Halo. My friend owns a nonprofit organization where they go to Trader Joe's multiple times throughout the week, and then they disperse the food to women's shelters, rehabilitation centers, and low-income housed families. And they also go to Skid Row. So one of the women asked me what it was like in Skid Row, and then yeah, I feel like the interview process was just my boss really was drilling me.
You were prepared
So
for it.
hard, yes, and I've gotten, like, every job that I've applied for, so I wasn't too nervous, but I was
Yeah.
still nervous because 'cause you're sitting there in front of 5 people who are gonna tell you if you can make it.
Yeah. Is everybody on the stage during this moment, during the interviews?
No, so this was actually in a back separate room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they called us in by a group of 20, and then they would call one person out, and it would just go from there.
Okay.
And after the interviews, then we'd go back into the rehearsal room.
Oh, that's not bad. Instead
Mhm.
of like being in front of everybody and the entire audience, that's
Yeah.
a little
I
nerve-wracking.
know, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
"Ah."
that's how mine was, and it was horrible.
You're just like,
Oh god, I don't even remember what I said. Okay, so then you had swimsuit,
Yes.
right? How did you feel being out there in your bikini? And I mean, it's gotta be difficult, right?
Yeah, it was super
All
uncomfortable.
eyes on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, how many Pilates bodies am I going against right now? I'm like, oh my goodness. But it was cool. My friend said that it seemed like I had a lot of confidence, but I was just like praying the entire time, like,
Oh.
don't slip, you can do
Yeah.
this, you're supposed to be here. And yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
you
ugh.
did it. I'm so proud of you. That's
Thanks.
amazing. And then you killed evening gown
Thank
with
you.
your last minute gown, right?
Yeah, we were practicing in the hotel room, which was so hard because, like, there's not a lot of walking space, especially
Yeah.
with the gown and a train behind you. But I did it, and the dress fit.
That's
Thank goodness.
amazing.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
snatched in it.
Thanks. Yeah, I was. I was like, oh my goodness.
That's amazing. So at the end, Sunday is when they pick the winner.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who won Miss California?
I forget her name, to be honest, but I
What
believe
city
it
she
was
was?
Miss Santa Monica.
Oh, I think I remember seeing that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She
okay.
actually, if I'm correct, she was the second runner-up last year, and
Oh.
she was under Fullerton.
Okay.
Mhm.
That was another question. I didn't know if you could repeat a contest. Like if you've already been, you're allowed to go back.
Yeah, I believe you're not able to if you've just already won.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah,
But if you're
'cause
runner up, you can go back.
Mhm.
Okay.
even the last year's first runner-up, Gigi, she was there this
Mhm.
year, and I sat basically right next to her, and I was like, "Oh my goodness."
That's kind of exciting to get
Yeah.
some pointers and
Yeah.
yeah.
She was practicing a lot, and she made it to the top 5.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. How did Miss Brentwood do? I think she won
She
something,
won an
right?
award,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I saw a picture of that.
Yeah, she did. She won, I believe, the bathing suit award.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, so she was excited, and then they even interviewed her on KTLA.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys are still friends and you'll have a
Yes.
lifelong friendship.
She actually just texted me.
Did
I was
you?
like, "Oh, I'm gonna read this in a little bit."
Is she going to be doing the pageant next year?
I don't think so.
Are you?
I don't know. After I did the pageant, I was like, "I'm not doing this again."
Yeah.
But
Was it the stress of it?
it
getting
was
to
so
you, or-
stressful.
Yeah.
I think the stress really came from the gown because it was like
Mhm.
everything was just free flowing and I wasn't encountering obstacles. I had a lot of support.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, it was like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do?
But now you know what to expect, right? Like you know, like
Mhm.
maybe you have a backup, and you know what the situation's gonna be like, and what you have to practice. And do you feel like you'd have more of an advantage now going back?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably the only reason why I would join next year because now I know what I'm really walking into.
yeah,
Um, Now I know where the actual schedule is because I was like on my phone looking at the schedule. I'm like, this does not line up with what
Yeah.
we're about to do right now. Of course, the schedule was posted on one of the doors. I was like, okay.
I wonder how many girls win on their first year.
I don't think any.
I would imagine that wouldn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I even asked Tiana, who was last year's Miss California, and she said that that was her second pageant.
Okay.
So I was
So you at least got to get one under the belt and then back in.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
my friend is like, let's do it. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, give me a moment.
Yeah, it's been less than a month for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have a lot to like process from
Mhm.
all of it. But you're gonna have your sash right through the rest of the year, and
Yes.
hopefully maybe you'll take it back next year.
Mhm.
But what is your plans now for the rest of the year as Miss Burbank?
I would like to go to more events, more charities, just being active in the community. And I feel like that's kind of the role I want to take on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, after the pageant, I was like, I just want to rest and recenter myself and just like dive deeper into who I am and how I can show up for other people in an encouraging way.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not fully fulfilled with myself, I can't help others,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like if there was something going on, I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's always something going on. in
yeah, there
Burbank.
is. You've
Yeah.
shown me so much. I'm like,
Week
thank
by
goodness.
week, there's a million things. You
Yeah.
can follow my Burbank. We've got all this stuff happening all the time.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually one thing I did want to do because I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did want to go to the Boys and Girls Club and offer hair services for the
Oh.
children. But I think I need to call the person in charge and maybe have the kids come to the salon
Oh, okay.
because yeah, like when you're doing certain services, it does hurt your back, but also
Well, that would take a long time. Like you'd have to go every single day, right, to get all those
exactly.
kids.
Yeah, and you don't want to like leave them out.
Yeah.
But I have spoken with the girl who does my hair and a few of the stylists at the salon, and they said that they would be interested in coming on a day off
Yeah.
and taking the kids as well as their parents.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I like how you can take what you know and like find a way to like bring it back into the community, right? That's like
Thanks.
the most important part.
Yeah, I feel like when I was in the Boys and Girls Club, I saw that I believe it's low income
Mm-hmm.
care for children. And I had a great time there. I still have friends with the people that I met there. And but it's mostly like minorities.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like especially in Burbank, there's times when people tell me, "Oh, I have never met someone who braids in Burbank," and it was such a struggle for us. We always had to go to Long Beach or Inglewood, and kids want to feel good too.
Yeah.
They want their hair done. They want to look good, and I feel like they should.
I love that you're just positivity and you're just so like cheerful and so sweet. And I'm so glad that I got to meet you this year and learn about this experience that you've gone on. And I love that you have become a different person. So the last time I saw you was before the pageant,
Mm-hmm.
and now here you are. And what do you think your biggest takeaway has been in this experience?
Ooh, I feel like my biggest takeaway in this experience has just been to stay true to myself. Um, yeah. How else can I answer this?
That's a good one. And I know you were on like a self-discovery for a
Mhm.
while before your pageant too. And so
Yeah.
it seems like you're still on that path of like, and it's hard to stay true to yourself, especially as a woman,
Mhm.
especially with social media and all of the things that are keeping us compared to other people, right? And
Yes.
so how do you do it? Because I struggle with myself all the time trying to stay true to like me and my values and my core beliefs when there's constantly things attacking me from all angles and TikTok and Instagram
Mhm.
and the media and everything like that. So what works for you?
Um, my relationship with Jesus.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's my biggest thing, and I just feel like I'm constantly asking myself questions. Do I feel good about this person I just met? How do I feel after our interaction together? What were the emotions I went through today?
Hmm.
How many times was I tempted to do something that wouldn't have been beneficial for me? How many times did I say something to someone that maybe was discouraging when I was just trying to be truthful, but it came out hurtful instead?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's an ongoing process. And just in regards to the pageant, I was like, I feel like those girls were so beautiful, and then you put on makeup and a gown, and it's like, wow, you're just radiating, and so if you're not strong in who you are, then it could be really easy to back down or feel like you're not enough based
Yeah.
off of just the outer appearance,
Yeah.
and so I'm really glad that I've taken the time to try to get to know myself more. Every month is something different.
I love that self-reflective talk that you do, like asking yourself how you feel and what you went through in the day. That's really impressive. I think I'm gonna try that. That's incredible because you get sometimes so far, weeks, months, and it's been deteriorating your mind and the voices and the negative talk.
Mhm.
If you're not addressing it every day, it's going
Yeah.
to take over.
Yes, I read this book one time called Winning by Tim Grover, and he just talks about how the mind is the battlefield. And if you can't control your own
Yeah.
mind and emotions, then someone else will. And, we're all made and unique and have certain skill sets, and we can encourage people, but it's like that can all fall apart if you're not on top of
Yeah.
you.
100%. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy for you and I love this journey that you're on and in yourself and in the pageant and in the Burbank community.
Mm.
And I'm excited to see what happens next. So thank you for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me. And I just want to say thank you to you as well, because honestly, I wouldn't have been able to do a lot that I did do if
Oh,
you hadn't helped me.
thank you. I saw you and I was like, I believe in her.
Ah,
I'm taking
thanks.
her under my wing.
Thank you. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thanks
Well,
for having me
thank you. Well,
today.
thank you guys for listening and I will see you guys in another episode of Women of Burbank. Discover your dream home in the captivating city of Burbank. Introducing you to Mike McDonald and Marianne Bean, Burbank area specialists. With over 3 decades of combined experience, Mike and Marianne have the privilege in assisting numerous clients in finding their perfect homes in and around Burbank. They understand each of their clients' unique needs and provide personalized guidance. As Compass Realtors, they leverage cutting-edge technology and stay informed about market trends to maintain an edge in the dynamic real estate landscape. Discover why they've earned the reputation as the go-to agents for all your Burbank real estate needs. Reach out to them today at 818-266-9766 and start a conversation. Disclaimer, Mike McDonald and Marianne Bean are licensed real estate agents, license numbers 01004729 and 020-44937, with Compass, an independently owned and operated real estate brokerage firm. The California Department of Real Estate oversees real estate licensing and the activities of real estate agents in California.
myBurbank.com would like to thank all of our sponsors and subscribers for their continued support. To keep up with everything myBurbank has to offer, please follow us on Instagram at myBurbankNews and on YouTube at myBurbank. This has been a production of myBurbank Talks, presented by myBurbank.